So it is time for my way too early 2021 NBA free agent prediction. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do in today's video. But before I get into this video, love you watching these videos, not subscribe, get your life together, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a like. And let's go ahead get into this video. We're going to do about 15 free agents here. And the most money to spend this offseason are the Spurs, Knicks, Hornets. So those are some teams to watch out for. Starting off with Chris Paul of the Phoenix Suns. I think he just opts in for $40 million. I think that there is a scenario where he does opt out and maybe goes to another place and or just stays there and opts out and maybe gets like a 3-year, $60 million contract where he could be getting paid less but for more years. So yeah, opts in though is my prediction. For Chris Paul. Next is Norman Powell. His current team's the Portland Trailblazers. He was traded at the trade deadline for Gary Trent Jr. And the thing is here, he's a good player. Like, I think the Mavericks would be an interesting destination for him. I think that there's a lot of teams that could use a 3-and-D player like a Norman Powell. But I think he goes to the New York Knicks. I think he would be a great shooting guard, kind of 3-and-D option for this Knicks team. Besides that, though, I could see like I said, see the Mavericks. I could see maybe the Heat trying to use him as a 4. I could see maybe the Timberwolves. I could see some other teams too. I think there's a lot of interest here. Maybe the Jazz are an interesting option here. I actually am going to change my prediction. I think I'll go with the Jazz here, trying to get Norman Powell. Next player is Kyle Lowry, whose current team's the Toronto Raptors. I mean, a lot of people would predict that he just simply goes back to Toronto. I think an interesting team here maybe is the Thunder. The Thunder are a team that, traded for Chris Paul. That was seen to be a bad contract. Maybe they could build his trade value up to where he is a valuable asset to a team. But maybe the Thunder, but I honestly just see him going back to the Raptors, if I'm being honest. Next is Mitchell Robinson. Current team's the New York Knicks. I think the Knicks try to do what they can to re-sign him. But, there's a lot of teams that could use a center. I like the idea of maybe the Hornets here. I like the idea of just a team that needs a center. I do think that Mitchell Robinson's a pretty good player. I mean, maybe the Pelicans are an interesting option here. But who knows if they can move that Steven Adams contract. The Bucks are an interesting option here too, considering Brook Lopez is on him expiring, but they probably don't have enough money. Clippers, Lakers, no, probably not. But yeah, so I think here, why not the Washington Wizards? Andre Drummond here. Current team's the Lakers. The Raptors have plenty of money to pay him. Why not the Toronto Raptors here? Yes, I have to bring back Kyle Lowry. Yeah, I'm actually going to change that. He's going to the Thunder, I think, maybe. Andre Drummond, though. I think why not the Raptors? The Raptors have the money to pay him. They obviously have a center need there unless they draft somebody, which I don't really think they're going to be in the position to draft anybody, considering the fact that I don't think they're going to have that high of a pick to draft like an Evan Mobley, nor do I think he will fall. Next is Lonzo Ball. His current team's the Pelicans. This team had interest at the trade deadline. Chicago Bulls almost got a trade done at the deadline, but I think that the Bulls are going to try to do what they can to try to get Lonzo Ball this offseason. That's just my opinion, though. Next, Spencer Dinwiddie, a player that's been injured all season for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, how much really is his value, though? That's the thing here. Some teams could definitely use a point guard. Pelicans, interesting option here, especially considering they lose Lonzo Ball. Jazz are an interesting option here. I like that option a lot. Lakers, Clippers, interesting option there. But both will probably not have the money, if we're being honest, unless for the Lakers, Montrezl Harrell opts out and they don't re-sign Dennis Schroeder. So why not the Lakers here? Why not the Lakers getting Spencer Dinwiddie? They could definitely use Spencer Dinwiddie. Speaking of Montrezl Harrell's current team is the Los Angeles Lakers, of course. This is a team that had some interest last offseason. I'm going to go the Charlotte Hornets now. The Hornets have been known to kind of overpay for some players. Gordon Hayward was considered to be an overpay this offseason, but they definitely need a center. Cody Zeller's just not doing it at all here. And I think Montrezl Harrell would be a good option now. As a Hornets fan, I don't really like him a lot at all for $20 million. No, thank you. No, thank you at all. But it seems about guaranteed he ends up with the Hornets. He's from North Carolina. It would make a lot of sense. Serge Ibaka is the next player whose current team is the Clippers. New team, I like the idea of the Miami Heat. He's a player that can stretch the floor with Bam Adebayo at the center position. And this is a good idea. They need a power forward quite a bit. Serge Ibaka would fill a huge hole in this team. Next, John Collins. Current team, Atlanta Hawks. He's not going back to Atlanta, I don't think. He said he wants to be there, but I don't think that's true. I think that the team that's going to get John Collins is the San Antonio Spurs. They are a team that, they could use a power forward. They've got Keldon Johnson. They've got a lot of young players. They're a team that's going to be pretty decent in the future. Why not John Collins? They could pay him the max, and that's probably what he's going to end up getting. Next is Lloyd Marketing, whose current team's the Chicago Bulls. He showed a lot of promise through his first couple of years, but I don't know what his value is on the open market, if I'm being honest. I think that his value could be like $10 to $15 million. I don't think it's going to be superstar type money, but I think why not the Timberwolves? This just seems like a Timberwolves player. Yes, they traded him away, but this seems like a Timberwolves player to me because it's a player that is not known for any kind of defense, only known for their offense. That would make it would be a Timberwolves type signing. Victor Oladipo, current team Heat. He's going back to the Heat. Very simple. He wants to be in Miami, and he's going to stay. DeMar DeRozan here. Current team's the Spurs. I don't see a way that he does go back to the Spurs. New team. I think that Norman Powell could go to the Mavs, as I said, but I think DeMar DeRozan is a player for the Mavericks. The Mavericks are a team that trying to get a big three, and DeMar DeRozan was a near all-star this year, and he would be a very interesting option. Next, Mike Conley to the New York Knicks. Why not? He has been so good this season, and I'm sure the Jazz are going to try to do what they can to actually re-sign him, but I think the Knicks are a definite option here, but the Jazz could definitely be too, so Knicks or Jazz, whichever. The best free agent on the market, Kawhi Leonard. This is a tough one here because, I think that there's some options here because, here's the thing. He's on the Clippers right now. I don't think that the Clippers are going to win a championship this year. I just don't. I think that the Lakers are better. I think that the Nuggets are playing like they could be better than the Clippers, and the Jazz could easily be better as well. So there's some better teams, and I just think that they do not win an NBA title, and I think that's going to result in Kawhi Leonard leaving in free agency. I think that he wants to be in a big market, so there's a lot of teams that you can rule off there from big market, and you've got to throw in winning in there too. Raptors could be an interesting option going back to Toronto, but I don't think that's happening. Heat are an interesting option that I like here, but that's not Kawhi Leonard, what Kawhi Leonard wants. The Clippers have been giving him easy, he can be late to practice, etc. The Heat aren't going to do that. They're not going to go easy on Kawhi Leonard. The Bucks are not an option. The Sixers, not an option really, unless the sign and trade happens, and I really doubt that would happen. So yeah. But besides that, like I said, I do think he leaves. A team like the Warriors could be interesting here. It's a big market in Golden State, pretty big market, and they've already got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, James Wiseman. This could be very interesting here. But I don't think it's any of these teams that I just mentioned. I think it's the New York Knicks. I think it's time that the Knicks get a superstar player. They've got valuable young players, which means that's another reason why I think Kawhi Leonard goes to New York, because they've got so many valuable young players like Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin. They've already got an all-star there, and Julius Randle, power forward. Like, this team's very, very good, and or it will be very, very good with Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard's probably going to recruit a superstar there, just like he did to LA with Paul George. There's a good chance that he could recruit a superstar with him, whether that's via trade or whatever. Which Karl Anthony Towns could be an interesting option there, or D'Angelo Russell. Either of those could be an interesting option via trade or others. So, yeah, I think Kawhi Leonard's going to the Knicks. That's just my personal opinion, though. I think he does leave the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers win a championship. So, yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications, because a lot of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. Get your life together. Hit the subscribe button, turn notifications, and leave a like. Thank you for watching, and peace.